All right, so now we're moving on to the deadlift. The first cue we're gonna talk about is patient start. If you have an athlete who's really trying to rip or jerk the bar off of the floor and they're losing their back angle, their hips are rising before the bar breaks the floor, before their shoulders move, this could be an important cue for them. So you want to emphasize a patient start to your athletes. If they're having this problem, you're going to usually see this with athletes who they get really fired up before they deadlift, and maybe they try and do a grip and rip type of start where they just reach down, grab it and go right away. So we'll emphasize patient start for the athlete to build tension through their body, make sure they're doing a good job setting their air, breathing, and that they're really just focusing on their technique to break the bar from the floor. Other cues you may hear to this is to take the slack out of the bar, put tension into the bar, but they're all getting at the same idea, and that's building tension throughout the body to make sure you maintain a good position as the bar leaves the floor, because if you're not in a good position when the bar comes off the floor, it's going to make your lockout much more difficult as well. I'm going to do two similar. Next cue we're going to discuss for the deadlift is protect your armpits. This is probably one of the more popular cues that people have picked up from our videos, and this is a cue that we use to make sure the athlete is engaging their lats, getting great tension in their lats off the floor. So if you have people who are doing kind of question mark pulls and the bar's drifting away from them at the knees, protect your armpits can be a simple cue that they'll probably remember, because the idea of protecting the armpits is to stop yourself from getting your armpits tickled. So it's a kind of funny cue that the athletes will remember, and they know exactly what you mean. And that's really part of what makes a good cue, is that just a couple words can trigger a bigger idea in the athlete's mind. So if you're losing tension in the lats off the floor and the bar's drifting away, then you can use the cue protect your armpits to make sure the lats are engaged tight and the bar stays close throughout. Similar cues to this are going to be like tight lats, or of course the famous cue, just get tight. But if your coach is saying just get tight and you don't know exactly what that means, this is probably part of what they're talking about, is engaging the lats, and if it connects well with you, protect your armpits. All right, so this next cue for the deadlift is quick hips. This is one I'm always saying to Marissa and Kristen as they're getting ready for a heavy deadlift. And this is to emphasize them initiating their lockout early. So if you have an athlete who's letting the bar get too high on their thigh before finishing or before initiating their deadlift lockout, maybe they're really leaned back in the finish, this is going to be a useful cue for them. So the cue quick hips is going to mean for athletes that I coach that when they feel the bar at the bottom of their knee, they should begin thinking about driving their hips through to meet the bar at lockout, so they can finish standing just straight up and down with shoulders right behind the bar, but not adding extra distance to their pull by really leaning far back into the finish. So if you see me at a powerlifting meet and hear me yelling quick hips, or hear that in the background of a Juggernaut deadlift video, that's what we mean. Fast hips, early lockout, lockout early, all of those could be similar cues. So if those resonate more with you and they help you achieve this idea, then go ahead and use those ones. Quick hips is what we use most commonly. All right, so that is part of our powerlifting cues and what they mean series. If that cue resonated with you, and that maybe that's a technique problem that you're having, then use it, talk to your coach about it, talk to the athletes you coach about it, make sure that you've established a common glossary, that you're speaking the same language when you use these cues, and if it helps fix your technique, great. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to our channel, like it, share it, do all that good stuff. We'll see you next time.